Hey YouTube, this is Terrell and I'm back with another video. If this is your first time watching, I want to say welcome to the journey. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe for more videos. So today's video is going to be a very exciting video as I'm going to take you on a screen recording or dive on how to land that social work job for 2023. As we approach the new year, a lot of times people find themselves looking for new jobs or switching jobs, or in our case, for social workers, we may have some graduates for this past December. So you're gonna try to find that best job for the new year. So if you're interested in trying to find a job or just browsing by, of course, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos. And of course, like, comment, and share this video on your social media networks. So this is my first time doing this screen recording. It's gonna be probably very relaxed because I don't really know what I'm doing as far as the screen recording. So again, bear with me. But if you've done it before, in the comments below, offer any suggestions. I'm looking to do better things or great things in the new year for my channel. So again, stay tuned for that. So like I said, it's going to be a very lax video. So I might get some water to the side a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and take on the dive right now. So we're going to open up Google Chrome. And again, I only use this Chromebook for work purposes. And that's only one of my jobs. I have two jobs. So it's very basic, which is okay. So we're going to start with just a regular Google search. And I live in North Carolina, by the way. So I'm just going to type in the social work jobs in North Carolina and see what comes up. So of course we have a general overview of different jobs that popped up. These probably directly towards or to the job posting link, as we have Duke careers right here for the Duke Hospital. So we're going to go ahead and take a look on Indeed, which is basically one of the biggest job search engines in the world. This is a Google Chrome, so it opened up a whole new browser or a whole new app for that particular link. So as I stated, I searched the social worker, which is probably going to produce a general overview of all of the different careers that you can do in social work. So as you can see, the first job that we have posted is a clinician job. So you have to be licensed for this position. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that job and kind of give you an overview. So for this job right here, the job they're looking for is for the position itself is family-centered treatment clinician. So as you can see in the parentheses, they have different licensures. So of course the LCSW is for social workers. This is the A at the end for the associate. So this is for folks like myself who has to get all the clinical hours before we can sit for the exam. And then we have LCMHC, which stands for Licensed Clinical Mental Health Clinician, which is formerly LPCs. These are basically for our folks who have a master's degree in counseling or a master's degree in mental health counseling. So LCSW is for MSWs, and then the LCMHC North Carolina is for our folks who have a master's degree in counseling. So that is some of the requirements. So of course, for this job, you do have to have a master's degree and a license. So for family-centered treatment, so that is basically a therapeutic model or intervention that is used. So you do have to be trained or certified in that, as you can see in the posting. And the job is giving you at least 6 months to get certified in that. And it is a good plus for clinicians who are looking to expand their expertise and specialization. So this agency is probably going to be paying for this. So it's a good opportunity for you to get licensed and specialized and be able to provide more services to the client that you're serving. So if you scroll down and kind of get some of the benefits of the jobs, as you can see with the salary, which is probably a big one, of course your salary is going to be dependent on your state and your location. But this job right here, it's starting out at $50,000 a year, and it's probably more likely going to be salary. Okay, so that's one job that you can do. And of course, with this job, you have to have your master's degree. So if you want to scroll on down, like I said, the general search engine was just for social workers. So a lot of times you might have to change up your search engine depending on your experience, expertise, and of course your degree. And I'm looking at the bottom right of my screen because I have my little image. So I'm trying to make sure I'm looking okay. But the camera's right here. So it's very weird for me. But if you scroll on down, a lot of the jobs that popped up in the search engine was just for therapists. because typically, probably the agency is looking for someone who has a master's degree in social work for the most part. So here is one. So something else you can also do, I know I'm a school social worker, and a lot of times people think, oh, just work in a school setting. But you can, depending on the school or the district you work for, they may have what we call a school-based mental health program. And for this one, it's basically they'll have a licensed clinician who will work inside of the school and see kids who may require additional support beyond the support of the school social worker or the school counselor. So typically, when the school counselor or school social worker intervene in the school setting with a kid who may require additional support due to maybe lack of emotional regulation or maybe presenting trauma, maybe a history of suicidal ideations or a number of suicide assessments, they typically, we'll see them for like 4 to 5 sessions. But if something's going to require long term, if your school or district has a school-based mental health program, you can refer the client to receive that services within the school. So basically, same thing as outpatient. You have to go to an agency or clinic. They will get that support inside of the school. So this is for a school-based position. So of course, you have to have clinical licensure and of course a master's degree. So they're looking for LCSWs. They say LPC, but in North they call them the LCMHC, that long term. And this is, like I said, basically you provide therapy. And it's actually an online job as well. So you're going to be virtual. So you scroll on down, and kind of give you some of the responsibilities and requirements. I keep putting this earphone in. I don't have a microphone yet. Not yet. But it's coming soon. So that is one job. So like I said, depending on your experience and your education, you may have to change up your search engine a little bit to be more specific to the job that you're looking for. Like I said, this is basically a generalized search engine of different jobs that's requiring probably a master's degree in social work along with a license. So for my undergraduate students who say, well, maybe, I don't want to go back to my master's degree right now. I want to kind of get my feet wet in the field. So what you can do is basically be a little bit more specific in your search engine. So instead of saying social worker, we're going to put, let's just say BSW. Or better yet, Bachelor of Social Work, to see what comes up. Okay. Oh, I didn't spell it right. Don't tell nobody. So Bachelor of Social Work. All right, here we go. So here are some jobs that probably going to come up that just simply requires a bachelor's degree in social work, or what I like to call a human service related degree. So psychology, sociology, or maybe you have like a degree in human services depending on your program. So this job right here is for a qualified professional case manager. So you're probably providing case management services or casework services, which is like basically the foundation for social work. Excuse me. This is going to be very informal, y'all. I'm telling y'all. So this degree or this job posting, and I'm going to read off some of the job descriptions, or the responsibilities. So you're going to provide superior customer service and quality home care. So you're basically providing services in the home, sounds like. Focus on managing coordination of client services and emergent schedule issues. So that's case management. You want to manage your client service manager caseload or proactively growing it. Can't talk this morning. Some of the qualifications is a bachelor's degree, of course. And to be a qualified professional, you have to have at least, I think, 1 to 2 years post your undergraduate degree for the AP. If you don't have that criteria, you'll be associate professional, essentially. So here goes some of some of the requirements. So of course, having a degree, a human services degree with at least 4 years working in the field of mental health, substance use, or developmental disability population, or just a bachelor's degree with 2 years experience working with the population served. Like I said, it breaks down what QP means, which is qualified professional, and then AP, which is associate professional. And this is also sometimes commonly seen for QPs and APs with intensive in-home positions, where you'll have a licensed clinician and then you'll have a QP and AP that provide support to kids inside the home. This model is also done with community service work as well. So you have a CST team, so you have a clinician, a QP, and an AP. So we scroll on down. Oh, as a salary. So this is what, let's say you're basically paying your dues in the field. So as you can see, the salary is not that high. Like I said, they only require a bachelor's degree. And then, of course, our state of North Carolina. And then Franklin, North Carolina, to be completely honest, I don't even know where that's at. It might be somewhere rural. So, of course, the pay is not going to be that high because the cost of living may not be that high in that particular area. So if you keep on scrolling down, we have another position. So if we have a family intervention specialist, let's check on this one with youth villages. So with this degree, we have qualifications. Says a bachelor's degree is preferred, but then you also have LCSWA. So I'm kind of interested to see if it's actually for a position for a clinician or a bachelor's degree level. Let's keep on scrolling down. So I'm gonna tell you right now, red flag. Carry a small caseload of 4 to 6 families. I'm telling you right now, this sounds like some intensive work. Because typically, some caseloads can be, depending on the agency and of course the service delivery of the agency, you may have a caseload of 50, and you may have a caseload of 70 or more. But when this thing like 4 to 6 families, that sounds like it's going to be some intensive work. And the little I do know about youth villages, I believe it's like I think it's like a group home, but it's basically like a organization that targets kids with a lot of intensive stuff, intensive behaviors in the sense. So you definitely gonna be working with kids to keep them in the home. And like I said, I know they have a group home as well, or a residential facility or treatment facility for kids. So the salary is between $43,000 and $50,000 a year, which is of course based on education level and clinical license. So basically, this job sounds like it needs a master's degree. Okay, hold on. No, they're breaking it down. So for the master's degree level, you of course have to have your degree at the time of application, of course probably the licensure. And if a bachelor's degree, and okay, this is a good point. They're looking for individuals or folks with social work degrees, a degree in counseling, which I never heard before, psychology, and then marriage and family therapy. It is basically like a master's degree essentially. So I'm a little interested to see exactly what they're exactly looking for. Like I said, they basically serve kids who are at-risk youth. So if you ever work with kids that are at risk, with higher level of, or requires higher level of care, then you know this is going to be a job where you're going to work for this salary right here. Unless I think they're looking for a master's level person. I'm not sure why they popped up for bachelor's degree. Probably just trying to look for something. You see, urgently hiring. They're looking for somebody to fill the position soon. So that's a red flag, by the way. Community outreach coordinator. So you're another qualified professional for a level 4 facility. So it's probably some more intensive work. Let me see some more. Okay, here go one. So a lot of times, when you, especially you graduate with your undergraduate degree in social work or psychology or sociology, I think the hard part that people run into is like, well, how do I find that social work job? And they start off with doing what we did in the first place, was the search and social work in the general search engine. So sometimes you have to kind of frame the word. So maybe say human services or case manager or case worker, or in this case, we have an employment specialist. So they're going to be working on a what we call an ACT team, which basically stands for Assertive Community Treatment Team. And this is basically a model that is used for adults who have severe and persistent mental illnesses. So these are folks who have diagnoses such as schizophrenia, schizoaffective. They're at risk of being in and out of the hospital. So they're trying to work wraparound supports to keep the person outside the hospital and remain in the community in their home. So typically on the ACT team, they'll have a medical professional such as a psychiatrist or a nurse practitioner who provides medication management. They'll have a licensed clinician professional, so LCSW or LCMHC or LPC. Then they'll have like a QP or AP, and then they probably also have like a peer support specialist. And in this case, with RHA, they're offering an employment specialist. So basically working with I'm sure doing some case management work or some wraparound supports for the individual to help with employment. So let's look at this one. So they're offering 1,000 sign-on bonus, which is probably going to see a lot in this COVID era. Trying to get rid of that COVID money, basically. All right. So yeah, so you have to be probably an associate or a qualified professional for this particular role. So you have to have at least a bachelor's degree. Monday to Friday, some on-call hours. Very interesting to see what on-call looks like for them. The pay rate is between $16 to $22 per hour. Like I said, you're basically going to be paying your dues fresh out of college with your bachelor's degree. Here go the breakdown of the degrees. So of course they will take a master's degree person, but if you have a master's degree, I'm sure you don't want to work for that little bit of money. But then again, if you're not licensed, as we mentioned, the pay may be a little less. But here go a bachelor's degree. So they have one in human services fields. It's probably a degree in social work or human services, and then not human services, probably like a degree in psychology or sociology. You still have experience working with. Actually, I'll take that back. So human services will be psychology, sociology, and then of course social work, and then not human services, probably something outside of that particular degrees. But they want you to have at least 4 more years of experience working with individuals with mental illnesses. Here are some of the responsibilities. So of course you're going to assist the individuals to achieve their goals of gaining employment. Like I said, case management work. Minimizing the negative effects of psychiatric symptoms or substance use. Basic skill building. You will be a first responder on-call system. So if that person goes into crisis, like I said, they have a team. So they have the medical professionals, they have the clinician, the QPAP, which is what this position will fall under. So you guys are working together as a team to help that person in their time of crisis. This is basically be a good role for folks who are fresh out of school with their bachelor's degree and just looking for a role. If we keep scrolling down. All right, so here go my medical folks. You know, the running joke is that everyone gets the social worker because they want to work with in the hospital or medical setting, and then of course working in the school setting as a school social worker. So some hospitals will hire you with just a bachelor's degree. So this particular position, you have to have a BSW. I do know a hospital in North Carolina, I'm not going to say the hospital, of course, who will hire folks who don't have a bachelor's degree, but human service related. So maybe they have a degree in psychology or sociology, but then they still will call them social workers. I'm like, in order to be called a social worker, you have to have a degree in social work. So therefore, you're not a social worker. But there's a hospital position, so you probably gonna be doing like hospital case management work. So working with patients in the hospital setting to basically get them discharge ready. So basically eliminate any barriers or address any barriers that may prevent them from being able to discharge from the hospital. So that might be locating some skilled nursing facilities for the patient to go to. Maybe they need short-term rehab. A big one is like with the homeless populations that a lot of times they try to come to the hospital for housing. It's like we can't really help with housing. But when I say we, I used to work in a hospital. That's why I kind of speak that still language. But there is an opportunity or possibility that you can get a job in the hospital setting. All right, here we have Novant Health. And I also want to point out, as you can see, that like Mooresville, North Carolina, is basically not a major city. I mean, it is major, but not a major city like Charlotte. Like in Charlotte, typically the hospitals here, you have to have a master's degree. But leaving North Carolina, they're taking BSWs. Typically in Charlotte, you have to have a degree in master's degree in order to get a position in the hospital setting. But sometimes in rural settings or rural places, and Mooresville's not rural, of course, but it's definitely not a major city, you can have just a bachelor's degree. This earphone will not stay in. Oh, DSS. And you probably say, how do you know with DSS? Because Orange County government. So typically when you're searching for social work jobs, if you want to go DSS, you'll know it's a DSS job because typically it's a posting from the county within itself. So Hillsborough, the county is be Orange County. It's a DSS job. So with this one, yep, Orange County Department of Social Services, looking for a social work one position. So this is basically working in child protective services. I will say this much. Like I said, it depends on your location. I'm not sure what Hillsborough is at, but as you can see, the salary is between $40,000 and $46,000. And some people may say, well, that's pretty good, with just a bachelor's degree. I know in Charlotte, I think I see a posting where they're starting out at $53,000 a year with a bachelor's degree. So, and DSS will hire you with human service related as well, so psychology, sociology degree. But typically, you'll be called like a coordinator versus a social worker because you don't have a degree in social work. But depending on your location, you can get paid a whole lot more. And of course, there's the benefits working with the county. So of course, you have the access to good health care and insurance and things like that. And of course, you contribute to the retirement system, which of course you can get a pension. And once you do a certain amount of years within the county, so there are benefits. But of course, it's DSS, so it's a lot of heavy work that's involved in that particular kind of work. Like I said, it all depends. I remember fresh out of college for me in undergrad, I had interviewed for a position with DSS in Catawba County, which was in Hickory, and I think their starting salary was $44,000 at the time. That was like in 2018. So here we are in 2022. Going into 2023, so things are definitely higher. So a lot of times these jobs can be hiring a whole lot more or paying a whole lot more than what is being offered. All right, again, it depends on your location. So Lumberton, North Carolina is basically like not a major city in North Carolina, so of course they will hire a BSW for the hospital. Here you go, another one. Department of Health and Human Services. So this is in Kingston, North Carolina. This is definitely DSS. And as you can see, they're paying, or their rate is about $41,000 to $72,000 a year. Yep, and then please note, they're looking for someone with either a bachelor's degree or a master's degree in social work. This is actually not DSS. This is actually going to be the Caswell Developmental Center. So basically, it's like a facility for people or individuals with intellectual or developmental disabilities. So these are individuals who probably more than likely don't really have any family, and or they may have family, but they're in and out of the hospital, the behavioral health hospital in particular, due to their diagnosis, and they probably need a high level of care. So in order for them to get placed maybe to a group home, they probably want to go here first to kind of get themselves or their meds regulated. I do another whole other video on that. It's a whole other world. But if you're interested in working in the hospitals, you'll definitely get knowledge on that world. I'm telling you, it's a lot that goes into that. So here's a DSS posting, most definitely. So this is working with child welfare, so with child investigations. And this position is started out at $50,000. And that's probably just with a bachelor's degree. And then after 1 year, you go up to $53,000. Now, this is a little promising if, you fresh out of college, undergrad degree. That's a lot of money for the most part. And of course, it depends on where your lifestyle is and where you stay at. But I know people with a master's degree who probably made just that right there. So, I don't know. So these are some jobs that you can get, like I said, typically with an undergraduate degree, whether it's a bachelor's degree in social work or just a human service related degree. So now I'm going to be more specific for school social work. So of course you're just going to simply type school social worker. And let's see what comes up. All right, so we have, this is probably a licensed position, so a school community-based mental health therapist. We already seen this one right here. So school social work is needed, maximum healthcare staff, and I wonder what this is about. So this is probably a posting for an agency that probably hires out allied health professionals, and probably getting contract work. Yeah, it's a contract. So it's probably a district that can't find a social worker, so they're looking to um, do an agency that would help them locate someone. So you're going to be assigned 2 schools and have 12 to 1,500 students. That is a lot. That is a lot. And you're going to be working between 7 to 3 o'clock Monday to Friday. But that's typical school hours. But this part right here, that would scare me. Okay, I don't know about that one. All right, so let's go down. So a lot of times, I think I had a question that was like, how do you find a school social work position? So a lot of times the posting may be directed through the school district's website or their county's website, or sometimes I will go to another post or search engine is through like the state's like government jobs. So this one right here is for Gifford County School, which is in Greensboro. And this is for a school social work job. So typically, this is what you're going to see when looking for these school social work roles. So, of course, you have to have a master's degree in social work, or sometimes they'll hire you for a bachelor's degree. It is a 10-month position. It is full-time. And when it says license, it's referring to you have to have your license through the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction, or DPI. So, basically, I did a video on that. Basically, you have to do like depending on the district or the school you go to, you have to get the social work certification, school social work license certification. That's pretty much it. As you can see, the salary is about $4,100 a month. So typically in school social work jobs, it is a monthly salary depending on your location. But for North Carolina, for the most part, it is going to be monthly. And typically that is your base salary plus what we call a local supplement. Maybe I should look at the salary schedule. Let's see. Click here. But yeah, I'm going to search the salary and I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. So that's for a school social work job. That's what it typically will look like. Okay, here goes Charlotte. So I do know about this position right here. So this is for a school intervention specialist. So the affiliated Sante group is basically our mobile crisis here in Mecklenburg County. I'm telling where I'm sitting at this point. But they basically, this person right here will work in the school. So when a child is exhibiting a lot of emotional dysregulation or present themselves in crisis, we will call mobile crisis to come out to assess the child. They can be assessed in the school or at home. So this is a pretty good position. You have to have a master's degree and be licensed, I'm sure. Let me see. Yep, clinical licensure. And then here are some benefits. So for my MSWs or those who are looking to get licensed, they will provide supervision. It says no cost supervision for clinical licensure, which is a big plus because supervision can be definitely expensive and costly. And then for the hourly rate, it's between $26 and $31 an hour. That is typical. They probably hire a lot of LCSWAs, hence this part right here. So because you're not fully licensed, they're going to give you this salary right here. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not good as well. And then that COVID money, look, as you can see, they have a COVID bonus of $500. So if you're vaccinated, they'll give you $500. They probably have different benefits as well. So yep, they will hire Tech A's, so LCSWAs or LCMHCAs. So this is probably a position that's probably like bingo for the post MSW students who just got their license, trying to get their feet wet, get fully licensed. But this is probably a good position because they're going to pay for licensure. And again, you're working and you provide a mobile crisis work, so you're going to get a lot of experience and exposure to different diagnoses and different situations, which make you very marketable once you get fully licensed because you're basically quick on your feet. Look, you partner with different, like, you know, the local authorities and different agencies. So yeah, this is a pretty good position. If you're looking to kind of become very marketable within your skill set, I would say. Okay, here goes some more different counties. So you see what they're hiring for. This is in Wake County Schools. So I think this is probably another school social work posting, but to pay attention, this is actually a grant funding. So it's going to end June this year. So a lot of times, some school social work jobs may be tied to grant funding, unfortunately. And I know that can be very scary, but one of the pros to that is that you're already kind of in the district. So if that job posting ends, but another post opens up for another school that's not grant funded, you can go to that job because you're already in the district, and they probably have a better chance of getting hired versus someone from the outside. If that makes sense. All right, here's another county, Gaston County. So with Gaston County, what I do know is that they will take BSWs. Like I said, I know in my district in Charlotte, I'm going ahead and tell it since you guys heard me say Charlotte many times. It is required you have a master's degree, but a lot of smaller counties may take BSWs. Let's see if they have it on here. And here goes some of the responsibilities and jobs or the duties in your job as a school social worker. Let's see if they have. And the only thing is that you probably will be paid. So we're paid on the teacher scale in my district still on the master's level. But if in a smaller county, I'm sure you're going to get paid on the bachelor's level for teachers through the DPI. So that's another con to just going with a bachelor's degree in your county or district. So yeah, so they will take a minimum degree of bachelor's degree in social work. But you still have to have that licensure or certification through the DPI. So you got to go to a university, take the courses, and apply through DPI to get licensed. Okay, so I've searched jobs, basically the general search for social work. I broke it down by the bachelor's level, and of course for school social work. I don't think there was anything else I wanted to search. Ooh, this is a interesting one. Attendance counselor. God bless that soul. Because attendance is something major when it comes to school social work. And they're only paying $2,500 a month. Oh, wow. That's some heavy work right there. So I'm going to do one more search for my undergraduate folks. For my folks who, it's another grant funded position I was talking about. A lot of times they'll be grant funded, but then depending on the need for the district, they may expand the grant, or like I said, if another post becomes open because someone leaves, you can simply hop into that particular position and be pretty okay for the most part. Here's another one, 2-year grant funded. So that can be typical with school social work positions. All right, another way to find a job for undergraduates degrees is to simply type in case management or case manager and see what comes up. So here goes some jobs. We already seen this AP or QP person. You got case manager right here. I'm not sure what confidential means. So here go one working with home health and hospice. So you'll be a social worker cap case manager. So this right here, you may say a paralegal case manager. Can you do that as a social worker? That's typically for like paralegals who do case management for the law firm to help them prepare for their case. I'm not saying social work can't do that, but typically you have to have a paralegal certification, I'm sure. Here go another home health company, I'm sure. That's part-time for $14 a month. I'm not sure what the hours are, but it's pretty okay. We got DSS. Not much is coming up for case manager. Okay, here go one. So this is a correctional case manager with the North Carolina Adult Correction. So you're gonna be working at the Maury Correctional Institution Center, and So basically, you'll be assigned to a housing unit custody. So basically, probably providing case management work for individuals who are probably going to be transitioning outside from prison and eventually back to the community. So this is what we're talking about with the human service related. So maybe associate degree or bachelor's degree in criminal justice, human services, or maybe recreation degree, or even a degree like in psychology, sociology, or BSW, of course. And here go the pay rate right here, which is basically typical North Carolina for the most part. That's one way you can find jobs, get your feet wet, and get some experience. Oh, see? So I was telling you, like, depending on where you are at. So Greensboro is another major city in North Carolina. So the rate is going to be about $56,000 in DSS, or Child Protective Services. So that's pretty cool. Oh, well. So here comes my previous job. I'm going to click on it. In Living, which is the housing authority here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So they're looking for case managers, or what they call life coaches. And here go the salary rate for that. So this is just simply for a bachelor's degree, and that's pretty good. That's almost $50,000 a year with just a bachelor's degree. And you'll be doing case management within the housing authority, or life coaching as they call it now. So that's interesting. All right. So I think we found all the jobs we can find on Indeed. Let's head over to, so sometimes if you can't find jobs on Indeed, what you can simply do is, let's go back to Google. So going back to Google search, what you can do is type in North Carolina government jobs. And of course you can do it based off of your state. So I live in North Carolina, so I'm going to use North Carolina for the example. So these are basically all the jobs that's directed or linked to different government jobs throughout the state. So I'm just going to type social work and see what comes up. So again, it basically came up with a generalized search of different social work jobs you're looking for. A lot of it's going to probably be clinical, as you can see. So you got clinical social work supervisor at Broughton Hospital, which is a state hospital here in North Carolina. And this is the pay rate for here, which is pretty good. So for some, they say social workers don't make no money. This is proof right here that you can make some money. Of course, this person probably has, or they're requiring a wealth of knowledge of experience. You probably have to have a master's degree, you have to be licensed, but you can make up to 6 figures in social work. It is possible. So a lot is going to be clinical positions. Yep. There's a lot of different state jobs through like the mental health hospitals. So you got Central Regional, that's the mental health hospital, Broughton, and so on and so on. So you may be able to find, oh, here go one, a social research specialist. So it's probably like someone that has a degree in social work, I'm sure. The salary is about $58,000 to 6 figures. It's in Wake County, which is basically the Raleigh-Durham area. Let's see. What are you going to be doing? What's the requirements? I think a social worker could do that. If you're research focused or macro focused, you probably could do that. Okay, so now kind of like, so here go one. This is probably someone with like a bachelor's degree or maybe just a regular master's degree, and maybe not licensed. So you're probably gonna be doing like the intake work or the assessments for clinicians as a patients coming to the hospital. So let's see what the educational requirements are. Oh, just a high school diploma. So maybe not. But I'm sure, if someone who wants to get their feet wet, or maybe they're in their graduate program right now, this can be a good job that you can look into if you just have your bachelor's degree. Let's see if there's anything else. Let's just search case manager. Yep, so correctional case manager. I think we see the posting like that in on Indeed. So you probably working at a jail facility and provide case management to some of the inmates. Probably inmates who are going to be transitioning back into the community. So probably set them up to appropriate services and resources. So this is probably a good position for a bachelor's degree. And of course, you're working through the state, so you're going to get state benefits and access to some of the retirement funding and things like that. So I'll just click on one to see what this is. This is the salary right here. Let's see what the requirements. So probably a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Oh yeah, human service related. Yep. So let's see if school social work comes up on here. So none that come up. And again, in comments, let me know how you enjoyed this video. If you have any tips or suggestions. Like I said, this is my first time doing this, and this video is going to be very like lax, not very like formal. Okay, so how about this? Let's go to show you some of the pays, how the pay works for school social work jobs. So I'm going to just type in the North Carolina DPI pay scale. This is typically how your pay will work through the DPI for your school social work jobs or positions. What we get typically is a like a base salary, and then we get what we call a local supplement, and that depends on your county. So this is basically just for the base salaries, which comes directly through DPI. So this is the bachelor's degree for certified teachers. So again, I know in my district we're paid on the teacher's pay scale. I did know that recently school counselors, psychologists got their own pay scale, which is probably dependent or based off of lobbyists and advocacy work that they had within the state to get that passed. Social workers don't necessarily have a lobbyist, as I've been told, in North Carolina to advocate for us so we can have our own pay scale. Like I said, they got their own pay scale. They got a slight increase in their pay, and I know they also got a little bit more the local supplements as well. So we're still getting paid on the teacher's pay scale, and yeah, that's that. This is for the bachelor's degree level. So again, the way school social work jobs work is, so how can I say this? So I think I did a video on this before. So basically, you're not going to get paid. So if you say you have 10 years of experience, but you don't have a school social work certification or license through the DPL or whatever your state is, they're probably 10 times out of 10 they're going to start you at this right here, and that's if you like a bachelor's level pay, until you get their license, and they basically will credit you your years of experience. So you got to go through DPI to get that approved. I'm gonna do a whole nother video on that. How about that? But anyway, let's say you have 10 years of experience. I think you might say, well, I should be getting paid this much right here if I have 10 years of experience, but you don't have the social work certifications yet or the license through the DPI. So you're going to probably get paid at 0 years of experience until you get that fulfilled requirements, and then what they'll do is they'll retro pay you once you get that certifications and get everything approved through them. So yeah, maybe take you 2 years, but you're going to be at this rate right here, and whatever the local supplement is. So here's what for master's level. Like I said, most districts requires a master's degree, but depending on your location, maybe just a bachelor's degree. I'm tired of touching this headphone. So we did get a slight increase we did get a slight increase for the year, this year. You can see effective July 1st, 2022. So, like I said, if you are coming into my district and you don't have the certification, you're going to be paying this is your base pay right here, which is $40,000, plus the local supplement, which is about another $7,000 or so. So roughly, you be getting paid like $47,000 starting out. But then let's say you have 13 years of experience. So once you get the certification, you'll get your pay will be adjusted to this right here. Plus the local supplement, probably another, let's say, I don't know, $8,000. So that's about 55 plus 8. That's what, $63,000 a year in 10 months. And this is a 10-month scale, of course. So this is not bad. And of course, if we scroll down a little bit more, this is what the base pay is for 20 years, which is basically a cap, essentially. Plus, like I said, retirement benefits. So this is how the pay works through the DPI. And depending on your district, you may get more in the local supplement. So let's go to Wake County. Let's see, that's Raleigh. And they're paid, from my understanding, in North Carolina, Wake County, their school district is paid more because of their local supplement. So it's the same base pay, but they have a higher local supplement for the educators and the teachers and social workers and so on and so on. So Wake County school pay. So I just type something in. So this is for a special education teacher. I'm looking for so this is probably for the counselors and the social workers, I'm sure. And this is at the, this is probably the master's level. Okay, so here, this is for the I believe the last school year. And of course we got to upgrade to the DPI. So let me look at the current one. I think they had a change in there. And I hope this video wasn't too long, but I hope it was also very informative. Okay, let's look at this one here. This is the current one. And they have theirs in the spreadsheet. So we're going to look for, I think they probably have theirs together with counselors, social workers. I believe they should have been separated. Here we go. So here is their base, the state base pay right here for the traditional calendar year. So some schools are year round, so of course it may look a little different to make sure it comes out the same amount. But this is for a master's degree, of course. So the base pay for 0 years of experience is about $41.70 per month, plus the local supplement of $700 or $787. So your total monthly salary will be about $4,957.70, which for 10 months is this much right here. So people will say, well, a master's degree, that's all you're going to get paid. But again, typically starting out or coming into the school district as a school social worker, you have to have that certification already, or they give you a time frame to get the certification. And then once you get the certification, you can basically get your pay retro pay and provide documentation of your years of experience. It's typically a form that you'll complete or fill out to say, I got X amount of years from previous supervisors and things like that. So let's say you got 10 years social work experience. So once you get your certifications, this will be your total monthly salary. So for 10 months, this is how much you'll get paid. And that's not bad. I mean, some people get that much in 12 months. So to get that much paid in 10 months, have summers off, have state benefits, state health plan, that's pretty good. Um, so yeah, so that is basically the way the pay structure is, and then this is how much it would be at 30 plus years or so. So it's pretty. And then of course, if you have an advanced certification or advanced like degrees, an extra $126. And then if a doctor's degree, extra $253, which is not much, honestly. But let's see. Okay. So again, I hope this video was very informative for you all. Again, this is your first time watching, I want to say welcome to the journey. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe for more videos. And of course, as always, stay tuned for more.